Okay, so we are recording now. The recording will be shared on our past events page on the CGA page under our past events. Also on our CGA page, Lauren, do you mind adding that link to the chat? You can also find a link to the resources that Christine mentioned and added the link into the chat. So we combined those a couple of months ago. So a lot of those things are in the same place for grad students and postdocs to find. So we are slightly ahead of schedule, but Anna Gold, if you're ready, we can get started with you.
Yeah, sure.
So education and outreach, Anna Gold.
Thanks, Megan, for inviting this and putting this together. And yeah, nice to talk to all of you. I know also a few of you, but actually not that many. So great to meet everyone. I'm Anna Gold. I'm the director of the CIRES Education and Outreach Group. I liked how you said in real life, Christine. I'm going to use that now. In real life, I sit in the NSIDC building over on East Campus, and that's our foot of our group. So we have, yeah, that's just a little snapshot of who we are. Next slide, please. Great. So how education outreach, we are one of those services that is available to all of you in CIRES. How can we support your work? And here I'm just going to talk a little bit about different things we do. So we can help you broaden the impact of your science. And I know that's kind of sounds jargony, but we can help you take your science and figure out how would the public be interested in that. And that could be in very small, in a talk that we set up with you. We can connect you with a classroom. Maybe you can connect with different projects. If you are interested in that, reach out to us, and we have lots of ideas and can brainstorm with you. We also do some early career scientist support. And that what I mean with that is that if you have to write for an impact statement for your NSF graduate student proposal, or if you have some other needs for different, and I know NASA has different requirements, come talk to me. I'm happy to look at those. I've looked at a lot of them over the last few years, and I can just give some suggestions and or help you brainstorm what you could do. We have a lot of ongoing outreach work that you can plug in if you just want to do that for your own professional development. If you are going down, if you are planning to do an academic path, you may have to write a diversity statement. You may have to write, a teaching statement. If you want to build some skills, come talk to us. There's lots of different opportunities, and I'll showcase a few later. If you're interested in course transformation and thinking about how do you improve your teaching, flipped classrooms, clicker use, things like that. We've done work with different faculty. Again, come talk to us if you want to just learn more, or we can point you to resources on and off campus where you can learn more. And then we have a very very active evaluation and educational research group now in our team. And so if you're interested in maybe even writing a paper, we've worked with some grad students that split their degree and had one of their papers be maybe an educational research aspect. Again, you could talk to us and we can brainstorm and connect you. Next slide, please. So our team has, and I just wanted to show this to you, and this is maybe also a plug for possible alternative career path. If you at some point decide science is not yours, there's lots of other career paths that you could take, and outreach education is certainly one of them, where you are, I'm a scientist by training myself, and I love being so connected to science, but then also to the public. And so we have a very broad range of expertise within our group. Next slide. So a couple of opportunities that I just want you to be aware of. We run an RU program for CIRES. We call it the research experience. We call it the Research Experience for Community Students REX program. You may have seen that in emails. We are just matching students for this coming summer. It's a 9-week mentoring commitment on the mentor side. So if you want to start getting some mentoring experience, you can sign up. If you are almost too late for this coming summer, but not quite maybe, we will also have some opportunities for just a 1-week intensive mentoring opportunity. So if you are interested in mentoring, contact us. There are going to be different opportunities with different length commitments to work with undergraduates. Next one. I already mentioned that we are happy to review your letters. We also have run a communication training that was started by Susan Sullivan years ago, and we've had about 1 workshop a year. Over the last years, 1 or 2 workshops. In the pandemic, we haven't offered a workshop, but we are planning on doing one possibly in the fall. So if you're interested in learning about a certain topic, again, contact us. We will have a workshop and reach that out to you with the opportunity. But if there's something special you want to learn about, we're happy to hear what your ideas are, and then maybe have a special training around the topic you're interested in. Next slide. A brand new opportunity that I wanted to just mention are data puzzles. That's a new format that is a way to get science data and like a small data set from your work into classrooms. And we are doing a lot of this educational work, but if you're interested and have a cool data set, it could even be, you know, an inversion data set or whatever your study is. We have built this new format that's using a new or a pretty interesting pedagogical framework that's called ambitious science teaching to get the science in the classroom and have students really deeply connect with the science topic and a science data set. And this would be a small commitment, but if you're interested, contact us and we'd be excited to work with you and really take your science straight into the classroom. Next slide. So just to wrap up here, there's lots of the way I just wanted to help you maybe think about how you can get involved. If you want to reach a lot of people, you can plug in some of these science fairs, reviewing learning materials, all these opportunities that are maybe where you don't use, you don't invest too much time. It's kind of reaches a lot of people. If you are on the other spectrum, if you are saying, okay, I'm going to work with one student, very detailed, and I'm going to be a mentor for them, you're likely going to have more change. You're going to invest a little bit more money and of your time and really connect more with your audience. So along the spectrum, we offer different opportunities. And if you're interested, just talk to us. I think, yeah, there's my contact information. Oh, and I put one more slide together. There's current opportunities. There is, in 2 weeks, the Research and Innovations Office is offering a broader impacts fair where an NSF program officer is talking about NSF proposal writing and how do you develop a broader impacts statement within this project, within your proposal. You need to RSVP for this. You can go to the RIO website or you can email me and I'll send you the sign up. There is a science fair currently, Colorado Science Fair, where you can volunteer as a judge. Again, I earlier said there's opportunities for mentoring this coming summer. We have an ongoing project with NOAA where we do where we curate educational resources, the so-called CLEAN project. And if you have just an hour or two that you want to throw towards outreach and making sure educational resources are scientifically correct, you can contact us and just volunteer your time there. So I'm going to stop here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Anna. And I don't know if the Trout Bowl was organized through you guys, but I volunteered doing like timekeeping and stuff, and that was actually pretty fun. So I would highly recommend the science bowls. They're entertaining for sure. So up next, we have diversity and inclusion. We have Susan Sullivan to talk about that.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm glad to be here. It's always fun for me to be here because a long time ago, I was one of you. I came to CIRES as a graduate student in the chemistry department. And when I finished, I just never left. And here we are. So now I am a director of the CIRES Diversity and Inclusion Program. And I'd like to tell you some of the ways that you can interact with the program and get involved, some of the ways that I can help you as you go forward. So one of the things that I do is arrange training events. And one of the things that we're involved in is kicking off tomorrow. The Racial Equity Challenge for Research Institutes starts tomorrow. But we have training events all through the year. And sometimes these are awareness events about, for example, we had Safe Zone for LGBTQ inclusion and neurodiversity inclusion. Sometimes they're more skills-based, such as learning how to have difficult conversations, which is a skill that you can use in all of life. So those happen all year long. And the way you find out about those, I'll tell you some ways to stay in connection so that you always have notice of those. The other thing is similar to how Anna was talking about professional development through your time at CIRES. I can help you figure out what would you like to do to develop as a person who can contribute to a diverse and inclusive workplace now and into the next job that you get. Just about everywhere is asking for diversity statements now for job searches. If you're there or when you get there, I'm very happy to review those statements and give you some ideas about what you might not be thinking about that goes into those statements, give you some feedback, one of those kind of critical friend reviews that helps make it stronger. If you have issues you'd like to talk through, you're always welcome to come and talk with me. It's one of the things that I do, and it's one of the things that I enjoy doing. And I can help connect you to resources across campus. I can help talk you through any difficult conversations you might need to have or want to have. I'm just available. And the way that you get in touch with me, next slide, please. Let's see. So there's a lot of ways to get in touch with me. Like Christine, I am sometimes in the CIRES main building and sometimes in the NOAA building in real life when we go other places. Right now, you can reach me either through my email or you can sign up for a conversation with me at this Calendly link. And when you go there, I'm presuming that you're going to get these slides and have access to these links. But when you go there, you just grab a time on my calendar. If it's available at that link, it's available for you to grab. You don't have to email me or ask me or anything. Just grab it and you are on my calendar and we will have a conversation about anything you want to talk about. You can, in order to find out about training events, they're usually promoted really widely. But if you want to make sure you see them, you can either sign up for the CIRES Diversity and Inclusion Community of Practice, which is a live link on that slide, or you can get on our mailing list, which you can get to at ciresdiversity.colorado.edu. Any of those ways will work to make sure that you get a notice in your inbox. And then I wanted to give you a sense of all the support that there is on campus. So you've already heard about some really good support avenues here. You've got CGA as one good avenue. You've got Christine and the early career guide, early career resources that she mentioned. All of these things are here. But there are a lot of different groups that will support you across whatever identities you hold. There's too many for me to put them all on this slide, so I just tried to send you to a clearinghouse and then highlight a couple of them. So CIRES hosts a group called the Society of Latinx and Hispanics in Earth and Space Science, SOLAS. So that is a project under the ciresdiversity.colorado.edu website. You can sign up for that email list there. And SOLAS organizes networking events and groups at meetings such as AMS or AGU. It's a great group for you to get involved with if that's something you're interested in. The clearinghouse for the campus student organizations associated with diversity and inclusion are at this top link, CU STEM student organizations. There you'll find links to the ACES chapter here, the American Indian Science and Engineering Society. There's SOCNAS, Society for the Advancement of Chicanos and Native Americans in Science. There's Graduate Women of Color in STEM. There's Women in Science and Engineering. There's all kinds of offices. And then one office that's not on that list, but people should be aware of, is the CU Pride office. And that's there to support the LGBTQ members of our CU community. And so I'm just wanting you to know that you have a lot of support at CIRES, and you have a lot of support all across campus. And I'm always very happy to talk with you. And I love talking with you. So I hope you do take me up on that. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Susan. And I will ensure and share these slides if everybody is all right with that on our events page. So up next, we have the finance department. We'll have Gretchen Richard, Ted DeMaria, and Rebecca Stossmeister.
Thank you, Megan. I think Andy is also on the line for us as well. So good morning, everyone, and thank you, Megan, for inviting us also. As Megan had said, I'm the finance director of the CIRES Finance Office, and our office consists of a group of 15 people who are working together to ensure the appropriate stewardship of our financial resources. We work together to facilitate our scientists' research by providing pre- and post-award administrative support services. So we have a team lead structure based on areas of responsibility. As I had mentioned, Andy, Ted, and Rebecca are here, and they will likely add to what I'm saying here. Regarding how we can help you, what we want to let you know is that some of our services are specific to employees who are hired through CIRES. We provide a range of proposal, award management, travel services. There are times when people who are not appointed in CIRES will be traveling on our sponsored projects. And so we might be working with you as we help you get a travel approval or make travel arrangements. But what I would like to say is that we're here to answer any questions. And if we're not able to provide the service to you directly, we can help connect you with the unit that will be able to help you. So for example, if somebody's going to submit a proposal and they are not going to be appointed in CIRES, the proposal services might not be provided by our office, but we can help connect you to your home unit or to the Office of Contracts and Grants so you get the services that you need. Can I get the next slide? So each faculty member, a research group, an employee in CIRES has a dedicated finance manager, and you can access this information through Inside CIRES. If you're an employee, you'll have access to Inside CIRES, and if you're not, and you don't have access to it, you can contact your CIRES advisor to ask who would be the correct person to talk to in CIRES Finance. You can email me directly at gretchen.richard@colorado.edu. And we also have, or you can email our CIRES proposals@colorado.edu address or CIREStravel@colorado.edu. We can answer questions. And if we're not able to help you, we can help you get in contact with the correct department or unit. Our responsibilities are we oversee all of the financial transactions in the Institute. We review and process sorry for that noise, all expense reports. We facilitate purchases, process travel, manage property, export control. And so anything from when the award is set up to when it is closed out, we're involved in that process. And if you are in another unit, you'll have a very similar structure, administrative structure in the department that you're in. And if you can, Andy, is there anything that you would like to add to that?
I don't. So I just wanted to see, so we are here to support. Yeah, nothing else.
And then we should say too, if you happen to receive an award and it's set up through CIRES, we would work with you to assign salaries, monthly reports, help guide you on allowable expenditures, work on any award actions. And if your award is not set up through CIRES, there would be a home department that would provide similar services and we could help answer questions. And then we also, next slide, please. We also have a group that assists with proposal submissions, and Ted DeMaria is our team lead for proposals. And Ted, would you like to speak to that for a moment?
Sure, thanks, Gretchen. Hi, everybody. Gretchen already mentioned the most important parts of this. We're here to provide service, like Andy's saying. You have access to CIRES pre-award support if you are an active CIRES paid on appointment, or if you're going to be on an active paid appointment through your CIRES advisor. So your CIRES advisor and your CIRES supervisor, if they're wanting to do a proposal where they're going to have you as a CIRES employee, then you have access to our services in those cases through your supervisor. And there can be some gray areas, so you can just email us at the address that you have below and just ask a question. You also email that address to start a proposal with us. We can do an analysis and see where it really fits in, and if you need to be going to your other department, we can let you know, and we can direct you, like Gretchen said, to the appropriate place that you need to be going. We'll try and help you with that, because there can be some strange gray areas when CIRES is involved with other departments and such. But we'll try and help you, guide you through that if we are doing your proposal submission, and if we're doing it for your CIRES advisor, we're going to help you prepare a budget, get the other documentations in order, guide you through budget justification and other documentation required, and we'll provide the guidance for the specific agency, help you with the solicitation guidance and interpretation of solicitation guidance and agency guidance, and guide you through university protocols, university policies and procedures. So we try and do a lot for our scientists, so it's a good service to have. And good to see you guys and hope to work with you.
And next slide, please. And Rebecca is our travel and compliance lead.
Hello, it's nice to see your names and some faces. The travel team can help you anytime you're traveling on CIRES funds. If you don't know whether or not your funds are CIRES owned, you can contact us and we'll do our best to find out who you should work with. Also, any questions that you have on travel, you're welcome to reach out to us via email. We just have a general mailbox called cirestravel@colorado.edu. And we have quite a bit of information posted on Inside CIRES. If you have access to Inside CIRES, the travel services pages are pretty detailed and may answer a lot of the questions that you may have. Approval is always going to be needed before you travel on university funds. And that's true both in CIRES and elsewhere on campus. So we can help you navigate that process. Generally, in non-pandemic times, we review and help approve all travel requests on CIRES funds. We can also assist with booking your airfare. We provide guidance on CU and sponsor travel policies, and then we can also help with your expense reports when you return. Right now, the university still has an indefinite suspension on travel. So if you do have a need to travel right now, there's some special approval processes to go through. And you can just contact us at CIRES Travel and we can help you navigate those processes. And that's it.
And I did, thank you, Rebecca, Ted and Andy, and I put those contacts in the chat. And again, we just want to say that we're here to help. If we can't provide the full service, we definitely want to answer questions and put you in contact with the right people. Thank you, Megan.
Great. Thank you all for joining us today and giving us a really broad understanding of what the finance team does, which is quite a bit. So thank you for joining us. Next up, we have Donald David from the Instrument Development Department.
Good morning. I'm in overall charge of the CIRES and jointly run by Chemistry Integrated Instrument Development Facility. And we're here to help you design and build and use any kind of new custom scientific instruments that may be of use to your research. And we're down in the basement. There's a picture of the machine shop. We also have an electronic shop, a glass blowing shop, and we do repair work. If we could look at the next slide, we could see that. Here's a summary of some of the specific things we do with experience that we have. And you can see it's pretty extensive. One of the things probably not on here that may be of use if you are participating in submitting a proposal, there's always a budget involved, and we can usually at least give you a general idea of, if you know what your instrument is you're trying to build, that you're trying to get money for, we can give you, I'm glad to try to help you get some idea of how much it might actually cost to build the instrument that you would be trying to get money for. I guess we can look at the next slide. Here's just some examples. Some of these aren't so recent, some of them are, but you can see we design electronic components, build boards. Here's some glass blowing that we do. We've worked with winches with tethered balloons for atmospheric sampling. We've built instruments that go on balloons that launch into the in the stratosphere. Is the bottom right-hand corner. Plus, we do vacuum equipment. If you look at the lower left corner, here's a vacuum system, a reactor that's used for atomic layer deposition. That's a process used in semiconductor manufacturing. And we try to support the instrument completely, from the design to fabrication, to help the scientists use the instruments, and also in the control electronics for it. If we could see the last slide. If you'll look at that left one, bottom left instrument there, here is the front panel of a LabVIEW control panel for that instrument. And you can see we've tried to make this user-friendly because it actually shows you the instrument and it tells you what's going on at the different parts of that instrument, from temperature to pressure to flow rates, whatever might be important for the operation of this this instrument. Megan, is there feedback from students that are watching? I could answer questions if anybody had anything. Is that possible?
Yeah, I mean, if we have any questions right now, feel free to share them via chat, or you can turn on your mic if you'd like. Otherwise, we do have a period at the end after the next couple presenters for questions as well, so you can ruminate on some of the information that you've shared But yeah, does anybody have any questions?
Okay, well,
Yeah.
if you do have questions, well, feel free to contact me or anybody in the IDF, and we'll be glad to try to help.
Great, thank you, Donald, for joining us. And if any questions come up in the chat, I will share them with you and all the other presenters.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep, thanks, Megan.
So next we have services and support from IT, and Nate Campbell is here to talk about that.
Thanks, Megan. Yeah, so I'm here with CIRES IT. So we're a small IT group that works for CIRES. We do everything from development to IT support. So there's me, Nate Campbell at the top, and we have a server administrator, William, a support specialist, Dave Zakovic, a developer, Taylor, another web developer, Neil, another developer, Meg, and another web developer, Matt. So we have a development team, but we also have a lot of desktop support. So next slide, please. So you may ask, well, we already have OIT on campus. Why do we need another IT group? So the reason, okay, cool. So, hey, Don or David, could you mute your mic? We're getting a buzz on there. But anyway, so you asked, why do we need another IT group? Well, so basically, we are a first line of IT for CIRES members. So we work strongly with administration and then groups that are very tightly coupled with CIRES. But they get both options. You can contact OIT or you can contact CIRES IT. Generally, we resolve issues in a couple of hours. OIT can be as long as 3 days. That's generally just because of their backlog. So we're a little bit faster, but you get the best of both worlds. You can contact OIT or you can contact us. And it does depend on, who your faculty member is, how closely coupled the CIRES they are. But that doesn't hurt you to reach out to us. If there is a problem, we'll let you know, we'll get it diverted to the right person or to OIT. But know that some people are more tightly coupled to CIRES and we'll get a little bit more support than others, but we'll do the best we can and route things properly. So next slide, please. So the things we do general desktop support, AV setup, design. If you have a Zoom call or a big group call that you want recorded and posted, we can do that. We do a lot of website design. There's a ton of websites. The CGA website's one of ours. We also have, different websites for career development, things like that have been done through us. We host servers, VMs, which hopefully will come back once this pandemic's over. We do Linux package management. That's a really big one. If you have, you got IDL and all these packages that aren't working together and you need help getting them to compile, our Linux manager is really good at being able to compile weird, old, complicated libraries together. We do data storage, so large storage arrays, asset management, license management, custom programming. All of Insight CIRES is managed by us and that's custom programmed in PHP, but we also do Python, C, C++, Java, and JavaScript. And then it's IT equipment and ordering. So, you need some consulting on what kind of computer to get for some scientific purpose or just for a desktop, we can definitely help you out with that. So pretty much that's it for us. If you go to the next slide, Megan, there's our information. You can contact our help desk by CIRESIThelp@colorado.edu. That's generally the fastest way during the pandemic to get a hold of us. And don't hesitate to reach out. We do remote support, so we can send out, a remote login instance and look at your computer with you, or figure out a problem. So feel free to reach out, and we're happy to help you.
Great, thank you, Nate, for all of that information. And I've worked with CIRES IT quite a bit, and their response time is very fast, I have to say, which is super appreciated.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Megan.
So next we have Katie Human to discuss the communications department. Katie?
Yeah, hi everybody. I was first going to say thanks to Megan and Lauren for leading this group. CGA has just been an incredible asset to CIRES over the years, and we are tremendously grateful for your leadership. So thanks for stepping up and doing that. So I lead the series communications team, and there are 3 of us that are full-time. Me and Katie Weeman covers the camp series, and Karen Vergoth, who covers the NOAA side of series and sits over there in normal times. And then Kathy Hogan is our 50% time graphic designer who does more than a regular 100% time person does. She's extraordinary. And our team does just this huge array of things. We provide content for the series website and work very closely with Nate's team on that. We write news stories and we work on media engagement. We do a lot of work both direct to media, but also with our media relations colleagues at NOAA and at CU Boulder. We do graphic design, animation and illustration, annual reports, flyers, social media, help with recruiting. So a pretty wide diversity of tasks. And I was going to ask, Megan, can you go off sharing for a minute so I can see everybody? And I want to get like a thumbs up or down on how many of you all have ever, and including the administrators on here, how many of people have ever engaged directly with journalists? Raise your hand or put a thumb up if you have. Oh, no, definitely not. Jeffrey, is that because you're scared? That was a very emphatic thumbs down.
No, I think I just have not had any opportunity to do that.
Got it. Okay, wait, now I've lost everybody's hands. So some, yes, so some of you have, it looks like. Awesome. Can you give me a quick thumbs up or thumbs down on how well it went? Awesome, good to know. I see some positives. Cool. Awesome. Well, my team is here, among other things, to help make those experiences much more positive. So Megan, we can go back on the slides really quick now. Thank you for doing that. Cool. So next slide. I'm just a couple of examples. So this is just a screenshot from a New York Times article covering a paper that came out of NOAA with a ton of CIRES authors on it. And it was a great paper in Nature, following up on several years of really cool investigative work out of the Global Monitoring Lab. So some of you on this call are probably already pretty familiar with that work. And I've totally put Megan on the spot. This is an example of a series that my colleague Katie Weeman, who does our social media, has been working on for the last couple of years. It's called the Humans of CIRES. And what she tries to do is really put a human face on scientists who are working here so that people are a little less intimidating and more real person. So if any of you are game to be featured in our little social media campaigns, they're very casual, very low key, and it's a nice way to begin talking with a broader audience about your work. So get in touch with me if you're interested. Next slide. Karen, we do these two. So communications is kind of, I think of it as internal and external. So we're engaging with the media, we're engaging with our funders, but we're also engaging internally. CIRES is now 900 people, and we all do an enormous diversity of things. So here are two examples of monthly internal communications products that my team works on. On the left is the NOAA Boulder briefing. Karen Vergoth does this, and this is a monthly e-newsletter that's very deep, very long, that kind of covers a lot of what has happened over at NOAA in the last month. New papers, hot social media items, important new funding opportunities. So that's very much focused on the NOAA side of things. CIRES Buzz is more specifically about CIRES people, from faculty to graduate students, getting into the news. So that goes out monthly, except during the summers as well. Next slide.
I believe that's the last.
That might be it, right?
Yeah.
That's great. So. Perfect. So that's just a quick spin through what it is we do in normal times. I can't remember what the phrase was. Was that what we're supposed to be using? In normal times, We also love doing things like communications training and practice media engagements. That's not happening in person now. We're doing a little bit of that online for specific groups, but basically, if you have a paper coming out that is potentially of interest to a pretty wide variety of people, we would love to know about it. And in the chat, I'm going to share our group email. It's ciresnews@colorado.edu. So let us know about papers that are coming out. If they've already come out, sometimes it's too late. If it was last week, it might not be too late, but we'd like to hear about things a couple weeks ahead of time, so we have time to work on some, maybe it's a social media campaign and maybe it's an actual press release. So quick spin through our team.
Great. Thank you so much, Katie. And
Sure.
thanks for joining us today. So our last but not least, we have the Human Resources Department, and Emily Hinga and Jasmine Moore are here to discuss the various things from HR that can help. And we also have Angela Knight on the line and Luann Line.
Emily, you're muted.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I'll let Jasmine introduce herself after this slide, but I'll kind of walk you through this very kind of dense slide to talk about what CIRES HR can do for you, the CGA group. And to introduce myself, I'm an HR generalist, and I started at CIRES NCU this past September. So I've kind of learned a lot even with this presentation today. And it's been just a joy to get to know what all CIRES does. So now Jasmine and I work together to accurately process all the GRA offer letters each semester, and we enter in all the CU system, we enter all of your information in the CU systems to process your payroll. And now these appointments include CIRES graduate research assistants, also known as GRAs, with the job code of 1505. Might be a little too much information, but and also pre-doctoral training fellowships with the job code of 3204. And Jasmine and I also process your tuition waivers in the system as part of your graduate research assistant appointments. And then for the pre-doctoral, pre-doc training appointments with the job code of 3204, these appointments are for graduate students who are enrolled in a pre-doctoral program and are participating in a training grant. And with these, there's no service expected to the university. And the payments allow for a person to continue their education. However, there's no eligible employment benefits for this type of job code. Now, something new that we're all trying to kind of work with, which is exciting, is that the Colorado enacted the Healthy Families and Workplaces Act that took effect on January 1st, 2021. Now, this law expanded the sick leave coverage to all employees in the state, which means that GRAs will now accrue about 24 hours of sick leave per 100% FTE per semester. Now, most CIRES GRAs have 50% appointments, so this equates to 12 hours of sick leave per semester. Now, the Central Human Resources at CU will front load these hours for GRAs to put them into the system, and the spring semester leave accruals should now be viewable in your MyCU info. And you can find this information on your leave accrual page or also in My Leave. Now for future semesters, for your sick leave, you'll be able to see this populate around the 23rd of the month after payroll runs for that first payroll for the semester. And then after I'm done with this, I'll put some links in the chat for you. But for GRAs, if you do need to use sick leave or want to use your sick leave, you would fill out a CU Boulder sick leave usage form, which is a Google form, to submit your sick leave. And this form will then go to your supervisor to certify your leave. and then that will be updated in your leave balance. So I'll put that link in there for you. Now also kind of new is effective July 1st, 2020. The university created a graduate student pregnancy and parenting related policy, which allows for parental leave eligibility for GRAs who are eligible. So I'll put that link in the side in the chat when I'm done. But that's also something you take advantage of. Now, as you all have probably become acquainted to Inside CIRES, Jasmine and I also work to add CIRES graduate students who may not be paid through CIRES, but who are advised by CIRES fellow to participate in CGA trainings, special events like the rendezvous and the holiday party. And one other thing to mention is that if there are annual increases to GRA salary rates, they go into effect the first day of the fall term contracts, which is August 15th. However, these increases are not guaranteed. But now I'm going to hand things over to Jasmine Moore to talk you through the next few slides.
Thanks, Emily. So yeah, I'm Jasmine Moore. I am a CIRES HR generalist with the HR team. And so I'll cover a couple more items here for graduate research assistants, and then I'll touch a little bit on some HR services for postdoc positions. So next here on the list, we want to let you know that we're here to support you and act on your behalf to petition the grad school if there's maybe a work arrangement that may go against certain grad school policies. So the main example here would be that graduate research assistants cannot go over 50% time, which is 20 hours per week during the academic year. But there could be times where you have another paid position on campus, could be a teaching assistant position in an academic department. It could be an hourly student assistant position. And so in these cases, you could very well go over that 50%. But the graduate school has an overload petition form for situations like these. And so CIRES HR will submit that form on your behalf. And then once the grad school lets us know if they approve or not, we'll relay that information back to you and your supervisor. Next here, another thing that CIRES HR helps with is processing pay rate increases for graduate research students. And so this would happen for those who are accepted into candidacy for their PhD. We do have 2 levels of GRAs, and so it's the pre-comp or the post-comp level, and the rate of pay is a little different. When this happens, you should receive an email from the grad school, and it does look a little like here at the bottom of the slide. And so we just ask that you forward this email to us so that we can make sure to get that pay rate increase entered for your new rate. And something to note is that the new pay rate will be effective the first of the following month after you send us that notification. Next slide, please. So for HR services for postdocs, CIRES HR is really here to assist during the whole timeline for the postdoc positions, really starting with assisting hiring managers with hiring and selection for those postdoc positions. That'll include your offer letter, your payroll appointment setup and onboarding. So if you have any questions on those items, feel free to reach out to us. So initially for onboarding, Luann Line on the HR team sends out an email to newly hired postdocs just to provide some information about benefits, submitting timesheets, mandatory trainings, any other information that you need to know as a new employee. As a postdoc, you are eligible for different types of leave. So that includes vacation, sick leave, family medical leave, parental leave. And so we're really just here to answer any questions you may have about what leave is appropriate, how to enter that leave, maybe what additional documentation you may need. And the central CU Boulder HR department also assists the employee and us throughout that process for certain types of leave, like the family medical leave and parental leave. So next here, CIRES HR helps with the career track process, which is our own internal promotion process within CIRES. Time in your postdoc position may count towards the years of service eligibility requirement for promotions going from a research scientist 1 to a research scientist 2. This isn't really something you need to worry about now, but we are here to help with any questions if that time comes and if you do happen to move into a research scientist 1 position after your postdoc. And then additionally, CIRES HR helps with international employees who are hired in a postdoc position. So we really help with the visa process up front, and we help with maintaining that status throughout their time here. We do have a CIRES visa coordinator, Janet Garcia. She works closely with the employee and with ISSS, which is the Office of International Student and Scholar Services on campus. And next slide, please. So yeah, we have an email address that you can always reach out to at cireshr@colorado.edu. It is a ticketing system, so the whole HR team will see your initial email, and then depending on your question, the appropriate person from our team will answer it for you. But yeah, that's all we have for CIRES HR, and we're just here to help out with anything you need.
Great. Thank you so much for presenting on the HR department. Does Luann or Angela, do you have anything else to add, or? I think that it was very thoroughly covered, but.
I think so. Thanks, Jasmine and Emily, and thank you, Megan, everyone, for having us. I'm Angela, and I just wanted to say hi and thank you. We're here certainly for any questions. Luann's also our payroll expert, also here to help. But Jasmine and Emily, we wanted this group to get to know them because they'll interact primarily with these 2 members of our team. Next year, I'll have a slide on our team, but overall, we are a 6-person team. And so we are happy to support. We have Janet Garcia, who is our visa specialist, as Jasmine mentioned. Jasmine, Emily, and Jimena Ugaz, who's not here, are our HR generalists. Jasmine and Emily support, the research, the graduate assistants, or I'm sorry, GRAs and postdocs largely, but Jimena, some of you may interact with her on that if you move, if you're in a postdoc status and possibly move into a research scientist 1 on our team. And then again, Luann on overall payroll items. So as Jasmine mentioned, we're always available at cireshr@colorado.edu. You don't need to worry about looking for a specific person. We'll make sure that your inquiry always gets to the right person. So thank you.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us and presenting. And that I would like to extend to everybody is thank you for joining us and sharing a bit about what CIRES does, as well as how it can help the CGA community. I think it's really important to have this event, particularly because coming into CIRES, there isn't a packet that shows all of this information together. So we like to host everybody from different departments to kind of share that information with the rest of our community. So I guess now it is time for questions. If anybody has overall questions about CGA or for different departments or CIRES in general, I'm sure there are plenty of people here who can answer any and all the questions that we get. So you can just take your mic off or off mute, or you can post in the chat and we can share with everybody. And I'm going to stop sharing so we can all see faces and stuff more easily.
Start with a really silly question. So for those of us who started in quarantine during this pandemic, where physically are the CIRES offices located? And are they all kind of together?
Yes. I'm just going to just jump in. Yeah, we're mostly in the CIRES and Eckley buildings, Lauren. Many of us are up on the 3rd floor near what's called the Message Center. And then there's a couple of other kind of little locations down on the 2nd floor of Eckley this strange little wing near our little shared kitchen, but mostly the second and third floors of Eckley and CIRES.
Is Eckley on the main
Yeah,
campus?
those are two buildings that are actually connected.
Cool. Look forward to seeing you all in person there one day.
They're right near the UMC, if it's helpful, Lauren.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, cool.
Anybody else have questions?
Where are you all located? Are people in Boulder? Are people distant? Are people Louisville, Lafayette? Where?
Boulder for me.
I'm in Boulder also.
I'm Louisville. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Cool.
So we're pretty located around, close enough to the university, all of us.
And I'm curious to know, are people doing okay or even thriving in this work from home thing or not? And how much do you relate that to your own personal, like, introversion versus extrovert? I'm an extrovert and it drives me crazy. I hate it. I'm really ready to get back to the office. Where are other people?
I'm an introvert, but I'm also ready to not be working at home. It's nice to have some variation.
I think 1 or 2 days a week working from home would be fine for me, but it's distracting and it's hard to not be able to just pop in and talk to someone in person for a few minutes.
Yes. Yeah, it's been amazing to me to recognize just how much, like, truly gets done in the hallways, where we're really making connections that had to be made and did.
Definitely, certainly think certain things are easier in person. And then obviously, I just try to remind everybody too, this is not the normal remote work situation. Whatever that next phase is, this isn't, but all those, it is definitely more distracting no matter what when you're at home. But I think everybody right now with their personal and professional lives completely, colliding, I think it's even more challenging than it is in a traditional environment. If you have others at home with you working side by side, or if you have kids or elder, family members, things like that. But I agree, there's an upside to having the option and the opportunity for in-person interactions too. And upsides, I'm sure, for people being home. I know Gretchen will say she doesn't miss the commute.
I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed working from home. But again, I don't have, small kids, and my kids are in college. So, and on days like this with the weather, it's lovely to wake up and just enjoy the snow.
Mm-hmm.
We get those alerts about late starts. It's like, oh yeah, doesn't matter.
I'm good.
Right.
A little bit on that point, I guess I wanted to share some resources for students or postdocs who maybe need a little bit more support than what we are getting from working at home, just I think in kind of an all capacity, but this really, I think it's advertised as helping with like productivity and management of your time and your degree, but it ends up being more of a kind of community where you can share like how you're doing in all aspects of your life and not just your professional life. But it's held through the graduate school. It's run by Leslie Blood. She does a lot of the professional development, and I've added the link in the chat. It's a seminar series that there's a number of different ones based on where you are in your degree, but there's also space for postdocs as well. So if you just need a place that helps you feel less alone in whatever you're working on or whatever you're going through personally, I would really recommend these seminars. They focus on a lot of like habit building to promote productivity and motivation, but I think it also aligns well with all aspects. So just an extra resource to help on that side. But I guess, so it's 12:15 now. Are there any last minute questions? I mean, we still technically have more time, but if people have to run, that's also understandable. It's lunchtime.
I'll just make a quick plug, I guess, before we end for our next event. So CGA is going to be hosting in April a resume writing workshop with some folks from the CU Career Center. So you'll be hearing from me soon about more information on that. It'll be a 2-part series. So the first time we meet, we'll just be learning and getting information. And then the second time we meet will be interactive, where we have an opportunity to kind of exchange resumes with other folks in CGA and get feedback. So keep an eye out for that.
Yes.
And thank you for all of our speakers for coming today. We really appreciate it. I learned a ton. I really did. So thanks for your time.
Yeah, and I think I relearned a lot, even though I've been here for a while. And then in regards to the event that we're having, that might be something that we could potentially get in the series event newsletter, because I think that's more applicable than just for CGA. So I think that could probably be advertised on a larger basis.
Please do reach out to me and we can get it in on our website as an event and make sure it gets out in the Monday emails.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I think that brings us to the end of our program. Thank you all the presenters, and thank you all students and postdocs who joined us, because these events are for you, but also you do make the events by being here with us today. So we look forward to seeing you at future events, and please reach out to any of us at any time with questions, and we can definitely direct you to the right person if we cannot answer them. All right, see you all soon. Stay safe and healthy out there.
Thank you. Thank you.